So when you're starting off a business, there's a question which I get asked sometimes, which is, if I don't have my own money, do you think it's advisable for me to get a loan? Well, if you can get a loan, if anyone gives you a loan at that stage, then why not? But you have to be somebody who's very brave to be able to take someone else's money. Personally, I took a loan when I opened my own business because I didn't have anyone else who is helping me with my funding. I didn't have another investor. I needed to take a loan. I didn't have the money, the resources to be able to open my own business otherwise. I took a loan. It was a huge gamble because it can be a gamble. With all the planning and business planning and all of this kind of stuff which I mentioned to you, it can always be a gamble because you're taking a loan which you have to pay back, and you're taking this in good faith that you will be successful. But what if you're not? Then what happens? You default on your loan, and it's going to affect your credit rating and so many other things. And if you open up a business, you can go bankrupt. And what will happen then is from a credit reference point of view, you're not going to be, if you go bankrupt, there's a whole lot of other issues there because you're not going to be able to be a director for the next 6 years, and there's a lot of you're not going to be able to borrow any money, you're not going to be able to get a credit card, you're not going to be able to get a mortgage, you may not even be able to rent another house because people look into these sort of things. It's a very, very, very risky proposal. This is why a lot of people avoid businesses. But on the other side of that is if you are successful, and this is the way I have always thought positively, and this is what I always expect you to think. Look, never ever think negatively. Always think positively, as if you are already there, as if you are going to achieve. Never ever think that you're going to fail. Would I get a loan? I did. Should you? That's something which you really need to think about. If you've got nobody else, I'm a very proud person. I didn't want to go to a family member or friends and ask them for money. God forbid. What if I couldn't pay them back? Then what happens? It's my reputation on the line. So what I did, I was in a very fortunate position where I could borrow some money from the bank, and it was a very small amount that I got, but that was enough. And I knew that there was no room for error. There's no room for failure. I'm not going to die, I'm going to make it. And that's what I told myself. And I made sure that I'm able to pay back the loan as well as make a success of it, which basically means working my ass off. And this is what you have to do. If you're going to go into business, if you can get a loan, get a loan. But get a loan with the confidence that you will not fail. And this is something which you really have to tell yourself. This is where you hear people, especially people who are starting off a business, talk about they work for 24 hours a day. You do need to. It's not a joke. If you want to be successful, you need to work. You need to work as many hours as possible. Because the fact is, I was sleeping maybe for 3, 4, 5 hours. I'm not even exaggerating. On a good night is 5 hours. Otherwise, I was up in between. And I'll tell you another time why that was the case. But mainly, all you need to know is I had a loan. On top of the loan, not only did I have to pay the loan back, every month there was an installment of the loan which I had to pay back, but there was also my house which I was living in. I was living in a place where I had to pay a certain amount of the bills. So this loan was used to pay for my office, to pay for my mortgage, to fund my lifestyle, to put petrol in my car because I had to go for meetings. So you do need money. Where you get that money from is up to you. How confident are you that, first of all, just because I'm saying I was able to get a loan, it doesn't mean you're going to be able to get a loan. That's the other thing. In the day and age that we live in, with interest rates and so on, and the market the way it is, if you don't have a credit history, or if you don't have a viable credit history, no one's going to even give you a loan. It's a sad situation, but this is the case. So I'm assuming here that you have a good enough credit rating where you can actually get a loan. If you can get a loan, and if you are confident, get a loan, because that will drive you to success. Whereas I would never advise people to go and borrow money from mommy or daddy or other family members, because what it does, especially from mom and dad, because we almost feel like it's bank of mom and dad, we don't have to pay them back. If you can get a loan from the bank, which you are confident that you can pay back, then do so. because you need a lot of money. You'll see whatever you budget in a business, in the real world, 99.9% of the times, from my own experience and talking to other people, whatever money they thought they needed or whatever money I thought I needed, you almost always need double or twice as much as that in order to make a success of something. So if you've got £10,000, for instance, and you think I'm going to open my business and I'm going to be successful, you should think about this twice, because 10,000 isn't going to get you anywhere. Even £30,000 as a starting point, you'd be very lucky to actually make it go off it. So you do need a lot of money. If you are confident and if you've got a good idea on what you're doing and you're going in the right direction, you will be successful. You will be successful, but it is hard work. They've got a loan. Where they've got the loan, it doesn't matter. But as soon as they've registered their company, they feel like that's it. They've achieved success. They don't need to do anything else. Well, I'm a director of a company. It's really difficult when I see some people, especially on social media now. I've noticed on many occasions, someone just registers a company, then they invest the money in the wrong places. So you get a loan, always think about where you're going to be spending the money. This guy, I've seen this on Facebook not so long ago, which made me laugh. He's got himself one of the flashiest desks. He must have spent about $2,000 on a desk. Okay, and he's got this plaque with CEO written on there. Okay, I'm just thinking, CEO, you've achieved nothing. How the hell did you become a CEO all of a sudden? Do you even know what CEO stands for? Okay, so this is what people do. People do some stupid things. They spend, £500 on a business card. Now, maybe I can at this stage of life where I can spend a little bit of money on business cards, which is of a certain quality. But when you're opening up a business, what's the purpose of a business card? It's to provide some basic information about you to someone else. Now, you may argue, look, if the business card quality isn't good, someone else is going to judge me as someone who's not of a quality person, etc. Don't overthink these matters. First and foremost, the important thing about a business is that you are actually doing business. A business card itself is not doing business. You having a flashy desk is not doing the business. Me calling myself a CEO is not a business. Okay? Put all of those things aside. Think about what is important. Even having a website is not really that important. Okay? But this is where the budget, this is where the money goes in. When I talk about the loan, what money that you need it for an office, for reasons which I mentioned previously. You need to be able to use that money on basic costs, like you need a phone, you need the internet, you need a decent enough laptop. You might need some money to have someone else who's working with you. So think about what is absolutely essential. Don't get bogged down on stupid things and waste too much time. I do know somebody actually who's opening up a business. He spent 2 months just thinking about what are the wordings that he's going to be putting on the website. He's done nothing else. He's just thinking about the website. Now, although the website is important, you need to allocate a certain amount of money to the website. You don't need to allocate so much of your time on that website. People know what the business is about. It's a recruitment business, for instance, or maybe it's selling cars. Okay, people know what they are, as long as everyone needs to see a presence that you exist online. But that website is not going to make you money, not necessarily, unless it's a business, unless it's an e-commerce business where the website is actually the business. And then you still need to do the marketing and other things in order to attract attention to this website. So for most businesses, it's something which is nice to have, a website, but it's not something that's going to generate you income. Always think about what's going to generate you income, because you've got a loan which you need to service, or money that you borrowed from someone that you need to pay back, or even if it's your own money, if you're in a very, very fortunate position where you don't need to borrow any money from anyone else, whether it's a bank or friends or family or anyone else, at the end of the day, it's your hard-earned money. You've got this money from somewhere. So all this money that's going to be burning is going to be your money. So you better have an idea how to quickly get a business often running to a point of success, so you stop spending your own money and let the business generate enough income so it can service its needs. As always, this is my advice to you. If you need any further advice on any matters, financial or business related, please do contact me. Like and subscribe. I will be doing videos like this all the time, and hopefully I will give you some advice on how to set up a business successfully, when one day it will make me so happy to know that you've actually started because of my advice and you have actually made a success of yourself. Please comment. Take care.